Hello, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about a way through which we will create or write data into the IFS file. Okay, so before we start, let me show you the IFS location. So to reach the IFS location or integrated file um, system location, you have to hit this command work lnk. After that, just hit enter. So these are the some directories we have already inside this IFS location. Okay, and in our previous session we also discussed about how to create the directory and file inside the directory, so you can go through that, but this time we are not doing it manually. We will create it with the help of RPGLE program. Okay, so here you can see that there is one file data.xml, so I'm deleting it because we will create this with the help of RPGLE program. Okay, so this is the location. Now let's see how to write the data with the help of RPGL program. So mainly what we are going to do, we will create the file in IFS location and then we will write the data into it. So let's go through the program. So here we are writing the code in fully free format. So these are the control option we have to specify, and this time we are using some different option, which is default activation group as star no and activation group as a star new. So as we are going to use some predefined procedure, or you can say that API in this RPGL program, so to access those API or to compile those API in this program, we have to pass these two control option, which is star default activation group as a star no and activation group as a star new. So this is mandatory. Now below to that, what we will do, we will declare three procedure, which is mainly for opening the file, for writing the data, and for closing the file. So first we will discuss about the opening file. So here you have to declare these procedure as it is. In the same way I have declared it here. So you will keep all the information same, like these parameter length, type, okay, and all these things. So I will just explain you how what all things we are writing here. So here firstly I'm using dslpr to declare the procedure. My procedure name is open. It will return 10 digit integer value, and we are referring the existing or predefined procedure which is open. So make sure that you are passing it as it is, because if you make it as a capital O or something else, it will not work. So you have to keep it same. Now the first argument for this is mainly for file path, second is for file option, third is for permission, and fourth is for code page. So these are the fixed things. You have to keep it as it is. We're just going to use these procedures and then it will write the data to our IFS file. So this is about the first procedure, which is mainly for used for opening the file. Now go to the second one. Second one is for writing the data. So as it is used for writing the data, we have given the name as write. It will also return that integer 10 digit value, and this time we are referring the procedure, existing procedure, which is write. It will take three argument. First is file pointer, second is pointer to data, and third is length of data. So you have to keep as it is. You have to declare all the things as it is. Here we are passing star n because we don't want to give any name to this argument. We are just passing it as without name, and these are the types and data types we are using it, and with value keyword. Now we will discuss about the third parameter or third procedure, which is for closing the file. So for closing the file you have to pass the file pointer, and here we are referring the external existing procedure, which is close. So these procedures are already defined in your IBMi. Okay, so you are just referring it here. Once your procedure is declared, then you have to declare some constant that we are going to use while executing the open procedure. So these are the constants: write file, create file, append file, and clear file. So these values are fixed. You have to keep 2 for write file, 8 for create file, 256 for append file, and 64 for clear file. All right, so we have declared the procedure as well as constant. Now we will declare two variables that we are going to use for writing the data into IFS file. So I'm declaring two variable: output as integer 10 and content as character 30. Done. Now we will utilize these sub procedures, and then we will write that or create the file. So here you can see that I'm executing open procedure. So first argument I'm passing here is location. After that, I'm passing these values like create file plus write file plus append file. So this time we are writing it for the very first time. So I will pass it as a clear file, not append file. We will see like when we need to pass this as a append file. So this time we are passing it as a append file, sorry, clear file. And these after a colon, we are passing these some permissions 6 into 64, 6 cross 8 and 4. Okay, so once these line got executed, our file will be opened in the IFS location. So we are passing these things: file path, file option, permission and code page. Okay, so you can directly use this as it is. Just you need to pass your location here, IFS location, and the file name which you want to create in this location. So what it will do, it will return some value. If that value is lesser than 0, then for sure it is not executed successfully. So we will display the message to user that it got error. Otherwise, we will assign our main content here. So here in content, I'm writing texture method. So what it will do, it will we will use this content to pass or to write the data. So for writing the data in IFS file, we will use this procedure write we have which we have already declared. So it will take three arguments. First is output, means the content which we want to write, sorry, the output value that we have retrieved from open procedure. Then the address location of this content. So whatever the data we have write, it has some address. So we are just using this address function to pass that. And then we have to pass the actual length. So actual length is 30. Once this procedure is executed, our file will be written with the data that we have passed in content variable. And after that, we are just using call p close procedure for closing the file. Here also we need to pass the value that we have retrieved with from the open file or open procedure. Okay, and then we are just doing star inler equals to star. So let's compile and see whether it creates the file or not. So I'm compiling it. Now I'm calling it. So once this is called, you have to hit the command work lnk, hit enter, do page down. In this directory, you have to take 5. So file is created. And also data is getting written here. Okay. So this is how we write or create the IFS file. What will happen if I call it again? So I'm calling it again. Just check work link because this time we have already this file inside this location. So what it do, it clears the data file again and again rewrite the data. So it clears the texture myth, previous written texture myth, and rewrite it again. Now suppose you don't want to rewrite the data again and again, or you don't want to clear it. So what will you do? You will pass argument as a append file, which means whatever the data we are already having, it will append to that data. So I'm writing it here as append data or append file. Now we will, to make it clear, we will change this data. So I'm changing it as a RPGLE programming or IFS. We will give it as a IFS data. Okay, so let's compile it and call. I think we missed something there. Oh, we did the spelling mistake. Here we need to pass append. Okay, so let's compile it again. Call it. Now check the location. Work lnk. Do page down in this directory. Take 5. Why we are using this directory? Because we have passed this location, and inside that location only we will be able to see the file. So this time it doesn't clear the texture myth. Instead of that, it writes the data after it. It appends the data. Okay, and if I call it again, then again it will append the data. Let's call it work link. Work link is for checking the IFS location. Work with object link, and then directory and file. So again it append the data to the existing data without clearing it. Okay, so this is how we pass these arguments like these constant create file, clear file, append file. Okay, So if you want to append the data, you will just write it as a append. At that time, we are passing 256 as an argument. If you want to clear it, then you have to pass it as a 64. Okay. So if I brief this session in some parts, then mainly what we are doing, we are using three already existing or predefined procedures or system procedure or APIs. First one is for opening the file, second one is for writing the data to the file, and third one is for closing the file. So these are the procedure that we will declare and we will utilize it. Along with that, we need some constant variables which we need to pass, which with some values, like these are those constant: write file, create file, append file, and clear file. And these are the variable we have declared for writing the data. And make sure that in control option you have specified these default activation group as a star no and activation group as a star new. Otherwise you will not be able to use this existing procedures. Okay. So yeah, this is how we can write the data to IFS, or this is how we can create the file at IFS location. So yeah, that's all for this session. In the upcoming session we will learn few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.